every series that I'm currently in the middle of and what I think of them so far. First series I want to talk about is True Beauty. This is my first time reading a graphic novel series. This is actually a webtoon that is printed by Unscrolled. This is about a girl who, it's basically an Ugly Duckling retelling. This is about a girl who basically was bullied for her looks in junior high, so she learns how to do makeup and she looks like a completely different person with and without makeup. And the first book was really underwhelming, but the second book, which I just finished, second volume of this, we get a little bit more depth to her and some of the other characters, and I think the message that she's going to learn, and like the theme that the author's trying to get across to us is that, you know, true beauty comes from within, and I think she's going to learn to like love and accept herself the way she is. So far so good. It's about a 3-star series for me right now. The next series I want to talk about is the Lachlan Feud series. This is the first book, Scarlet Princess. There are 4 books in this series, and they basically follow the story of Princess Rowan. It's sort of like a Scots-Irish, German-coded, like, romantasy, I guess. It's like a royal core story with like a dash of fantasy, because there's like, they have fae blood, some people do, but it hasn't really been like an issue or come into play yet, and I'm like almost done with book 3. It's an enemies to lovers, rival kingdoms, love triangle, little bit of a slow burn situation happening, and I love it so far. It's super easy to read, super fast paced, really short chapters, which I love. And yeah, so far so good. It's a 5-star series for me right now. I'm still interested even after 2.5 books. So yeah, so far so good. Would highly recommend this one. And then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is a romantasy that follows Evangeline as she tries to heal her broken heart, but she doesn't really go about it the normal way that, you know, we would in our world, because she lives in this fantasy world where there are fates, which are kind of like gods who can grant you wishes but at a cost. So when her true love is about to marry her stepsister, she basically strikes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, and chaos and magical fun fairy tale-ness ensues in only the way that Stephanie Garber can. I love the series so far. I was hooked from the first book. The second book is my favorite so far. I haven't read the third yet, but I'm planning on actually starting that this week. So definitely highly recommend this one. 5-star series. I love Stephanie Garber's writing. She's like an auto-buy author for me, for sure. This series, I don't know really how I feel about it. Like, this book, I love it. I love Promises and Pomegranates. This is the Monsters and Muses series, by Savar Miller, and I loved Promises and Pomegranates. This, I'm pretty sure it's the first dark romance I ever read, and I've kind of been on my dark romance kick ever since. But yeah, I love Cal Anderson. I loved this book. I loved the second book, Vipers and Virtuosos. I just finished the third book, and it was a little boring to me. I was like super underwhelmed with it and disappointed. So I am hoping that the series picks back up after the third book, because I had such high hopes for this series. Still love it, but my rating for it has gone down a little bit. So it's about a 4-star series for me right now. And yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I do still recommend it if you're like into dark romance though, but definitely check the trigger warnings. And then the final series that I am in the middle of right now is the Legendborn series. This is probably my favorite series that I'm in the middle of right now. It's just a beautiful story. It's a King Arthur it's like a King Arthur like continuation, I guess. Basically, the Legendborn are the descendants of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and they fight demons. This follows Bree as she like navigates this world that she has been thrust into and tries to find her own way, and her own power, in a world that wants to keep her powerless. I love this book so much, and book 2 is even better, Blood Marked, and I cannot wait for the continuation. I need more books in this series, and I can't wait to keep reading. Goes without saying, 5-star series for me. And those are all the series that I'm currently in the middle of and what I think of them so far.